Welcome back to the jungle. We live in this bitch. As upsetting and annoying and bothersome as all these sounds are, and have been for the fucking 2 years that I've lived in this fucking place, and like I said in another video, it's always something. If it's not that porch, then it's this porch. And if it's not that porch, it's this porch. If it's not that, then it's the neighbors. If it's not the neighbors, then it's the fucking playground bullshit. If it's not the playground, it's fucking always something. Once, like, I used to think people were fucking bugging out and, like, oh, being all dramatic, and they'd say that all the time. Like, oh, yeah. No. The most. And since I'm in this point in my life where I try to find positives in the negative, the my the best thing that's happening so far out of this little renovation thing that's happening currently at these fucking bullshit ass ghetto ass apartments, the fact that that old fucking cunt that lives across the way that never has her dog on the leash and always tries to play the victim. Like, oh, blah blah blah, my dog, like, she's little, she doesn't need to be on a leash, blah blah blah. Like, all dogs need to be on a leash according to the thing, right? And y'all know we've been beefing, like, since the day we moved in, bro. Because the bitch had her dog off the leash and tried to attack our dog, and it was like a big fucking ordeal. Train your fucking dogs to not be pieces of shit like you are. That's the moral of the story. But where I was going with that is, as miserable and as obnoxious and fucking diminishing to the soul that all this sound is, the one positive, as I look across this ghetto landscape into the windows that are all boarded up while they're doing the rebuild the porch there, that fucking old ass bitch gets the worst of it. They're literally right above her shit right now, banging with sledgehammers on the fucking porch. So for that, Sky Daddy, good looking out, because that bitch is gonna go crazy over the, like, if it's bothering me, I know the fuck it's bothering that old fucking bitch. So that being said, her ass is gonna be fucking bothered the whole time, which is great. It's kind of sad that I'm, like, getting used to this type of bullshit, obnoxious behavior. And it's like this little voice in my head, just like, oh, just get used to it, you'll get over it, type shit. And it's like, no, dude, I don't want to deal with it and get over it. Like, you pay so much to live somewhere, you don't want to be fucking bothered. Especially, like, in apartments, you already don't get privacy as it is. But I'm not really tripping about that, because in a few years, I'm going to be in Abu Dhabi, poolside at the Burj Khalifa, overlooking all the fucking peasants on the planet, reflecting on this moment and other moments just like this, to where always remember where it came from, and just keep that drive to keep going further. And I know y'all don't really know, like, I don't really dive y'all too much into my personal life, really, all that often, because, especially in the era of social media, things get taken out of context, or, like, just over, like, too many people need to have comments on things that don't need to have comments on. So the short version of what I'm thinking about right now is the person I'm living with is essentially, and I'm finding out like like every day, like more and more, and like it's making more sense. Everything's making more sense, but this person is literally me in another flesh sack, living the exact same life I'm living, stressed out about bills and money and job, hate hates going to work, hates coming home because there's no peace and quiet at the house, and it's not because of like each other, like we get along with each other, but it's like everything around us uh, is just fucking obnoxious and obscure and just always like combative, and we're both just like really fucking sick of everything, man. Like it's like we kind of have one of those conversations that you need to have sometimes when you're like not expecting to or want to or whatever. But it was just like hearing this person say all these words was like, holy fuck. Like I feel terrible because I feel like some I there I could have done something different to be better. Obviously, like you strive for better every day, but sometimes when you're like sometimes you don't actually like just because you think about the popcorn doesn't mean you're going to actually eat it. And if that statement like goes over your head, just that's just we're sick of it. We're sick of the same shit. It's always the same bullshit. Like it's just crazy how like and we and it's not just me and that one person had this we did. But what I'm trying to say is more people are dealing with that shit than just us two. You know, like a lot of people are out there feeling crazy. Like feeling like life ain't going right or this ain't happening, like down and whatever. I don't know, it's corny. I know like a lot of y'all like don't believe in it, and you don't have to, and that's probably why you're miserable. But you have to just try to find the good in shit, man. Even when you don't feel like there is none, there has like there's gotta be something to keep you going every day. Um, before you, so you don't come, complacent and stagnant and like. It, but it's also now to the point. I know I'm all over the place. I'm sorry, but it's like my fucking brain's everywhere. Maybe I need to get on like medication or something. But the thought of that kind of, for those that know me, they'll be like, oh, okay, like whatever. Like, oh, why can't you do medication? Can, but that's going to be a deep dive in the podcast. I've already got a lot of episodes, like, not really, like, laid out, like, frame by frame, obviously, but God, it looks so fucking ghetto here, bro. Oh. It just drives me bananas that I feel like there's this, it's this weight, right? So part of me is, 50% of me is like, I feel like I'm killing it, I'm doing good, and like working hard, and because I know I am. Like I know I'm putting in the work, not just on here on this platform, but other platforms and in my like professional life, and like taking strides to like try to be good at the job I'm doing while I have to be doing it. And still, getting politicked out. And it's been my way. This shit has been this way my whole life. And a lot of people are gonna try to claim bullshit on it because they didn't live through it. But it'd be silly for anyone to try to discredit anything that I feel or have gone through. The same as if for me, like, I can't say anybody should feel a certain way about a certain thing or anything. Like, I don't know where I was going with that, and I do that a lot. But I need to, like, I'm really back to this weight, man. Like, part of me, I feel like I'm really doing a good job, and part of me, I feel like I'm not working hard enough. That's the thing, is like, I don't feel like I'm doing enough. And it's like, honestly, to be realistic, financially, I'm not doing everything I could be doing to be a little bit more comfortable. Um, but I guess it's all part of this crazy journey, man. Somewhere in another dimension, I'm fucking Pat McAfee walking out for Friday Night SmackDown in Indianapolis. Monday Night Raw was last night, actually. It's crazy. And this might be a misquote, like a misfact of his, misquote or whatever. Oh, dude. There's just so much I want to get into and talk about. I want to talk about the Wyatt Six, man. Like, last Monday on Raw, we saw what happened. Uncle Howdy and the group made their debut. It was horrific. It was phenomenal. Obviously, we all knew Jim Cornette was going to, like, bag on it and hate on it. And here's the great thing about being, like, a free-thinking person, I guess, is I did not agree at all with him or the other dude that was on the show at all about how they felt about the Wyatt Six or any of that. But I did laugh. Like, Jim Cornette's a funny dude, and I understand why he doesn't like it. But and that's one of those things too. That's like, you either love it or you hate it. People just always looking for a reason to rag on Jim Cornette. But dog, there's like him saying all that, everything that he said about like the Wyatt Six and all that. I didn't feel offended. I didn't feel like I needed to go like type a crazy message to him in all caps, like, "Oh, you buried my favorite wrestler," and blah blah blah. Well, fucking no, we didn't have to do none of that. I don't do none of that because that's the thing. Is like, that's what makes, even though this country is kind of a bum ass country, being in debt, a whole bunch of whole country's in debt. And these motherfuckers worried about, oh, y'all gonna pay y'all bill on time. Bitch, y'all ain't paying y'all's bills on time. The fuck are you talking about? The whole government is fucking broke. Like, that's a whole nother video that I'm doing that shit again where I take a fucking onion of content and just smack it on the ground and then it splatters and then onion peels and opens and as it, you're getting all the layers and extra layers and so we'll go back to the bounty hunter stuff from Grand Theft Auto 5, the new DLC. Talk about that for a second because I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I misjudged it the first like 20 minutes we were in. I was like, mm, I wasn't really feeling it. I knew it was gonna be like a full time, like bullshit. But I tapped in. I got the business up in Paleto Bay, which, if you guys are gonna, if you guys haven't got the new DLC yet and you haven't bought the property, I do not recommend buying that particular property in Paleto Bay, because all of the bounties that I had to fucking collect anyway, I had to go all the way to the fucking city to get, and then go all the way the fuck back to Paleto Bay. So I don't want to do all that bullshit. I'm going inside. It's fucking hot. My phone's getting hot too. Jesus. Oh, by God. Oh my goodness, Husky. What are you doing? Oh, hi, baby Husky. I know, baby. Yeah. I might do it today. I have tomorrow too, because my fucking job sucks ass. And it's a cool job, like, a couple of the people are cool, and like it's easy, super easy work, and I get paid better than I did at my last job and all that malarkey. But the downside is, um, they. I feel, dude. I think I said this in another video. I just feel like a fucking outcast in there, because I just can't really like relate to these people. There's not really much that I can relate to there. Where, I know. How does my brain like crank into overdrive? The less, like the more exhausted I am, the more tired I am. The more my brain's like and like firing off and shit, going fucking crazy. Everything. I might cry while we're talking, so I'm gonna put the shades back on, because this fucking. I need to get myself together. This. Supposed to be the dog's room, and it ended up not being, due to some other circumstances. And I keep it 55th Street with y'all. I've been so back and forth on this balance of just like I was saying earlier, just feeling like I'm not good enough or not doing enough or none of that. Heavily weighted with I'm working myself to the bone for nothing and have nothing to show for it. And it's like I know a lot of it is all the negative energy I'm surrounded by. And that's hard to really put into perspective for people that don't really. I guess if we're gonna fucking do this, I might as well do it right. You know, throw the fucking gimmick, little blanket gimmick there. Since I'm not wearing a black craft shirt today, fucking the backdrop can be the fucking black craft blankets. Never trust the living is what this one says, but it's backwards. Oh man. So the thing with Bo Dallas talking about Bray Wyatt, and like, so we all saw what happened last week on Raw. They promised a massacre. That's what we got. Um, Raw last night was weird. Chad Gable got his match, which I thought I read something saying he was gonna get. But again, that's what you get for like reading stupid shit on the internet, like spoilers or dirt sheets, which may not be either of the, or just a lot of fucking people nowadays think because they have a microphone and a camera that their phone is essentially both of those things, but they think that because they have that they're automatically a journalist. Like that's not exactly how it works. I would nowhere near classify myself as a journalist. Nowhere near that. It's just so much weird energy people put off down here. It gets reciprocated. So, but I know I'm going back and forth again because what I saw on Raw last night, man, it, it's like every moment in time that I've had in my life that has like brought me closer and closer and closer and closer to being a part of that organization. That it's kind of spooky, like really spooky. Just I'll give you examples from being down here. Just the time that I've been down here in a couple years, the train wreck of a ride that it's been. What? Okay, obviously it's Orlando, and where I was working was like pretty close to the airport. So a lot of people obviously come and go there, right? Long story short, because I know I'm gonna lose focus and trail off onto some other fucking bullshit for a spiel, but all of these events in my life are bringing me closer and closer to this company, and it's bringing me into it, and like I'm gonna be a part of it one day, and it's gonna be another fucking layer of craziness that we'll get into when we get there, but just random interactions on the internet, like getting reposted or like whatever the fuck they call it. Everything on Twitter is not Twitter anymore. Is it still a retweet or is it like a re-X? Like what it like? I'm sure there's some other new fucking terminology that my old ass is behind on. But oh Lord, have you hear all these things popping and cracking? My spine and neck and knee. Part of me thinks like, damn, dude, I'm never gonna make it. Never gonna be a part of this fucking company. The one company that, like, the one thing I've always wanted in my life is always just so close, but yet so far away. And when a lot of these weird moments happen, like I was saying, like getting retweeted by very important people in the wrestling world, and I have a list, and I like screenshots and shit because I was like surprised when it happened of like a lot of it. So there was a time I said something about China needed to be in the Hall of Fame, and Road Dogg liked the tweet or retweeted it, something along. It was one of the two. I don't remember like the exact things, but like I said, I have the screen caps. I can go back in the years, and we'll get to that. We'll post that on. I don't know how we'll do that. We'll do that. That's another project added to the fucking board. Great. Anyway, it'd be moments like that, and then we fast forward in time, or we're gonna like crunch a bunch of shit together. After a couple years of like just random, retweets, and like when JR's one of JR's books came out, I posted that I was reading it, and he reposted it, and to the normal person, like a lot of these little coincidental things are probably like don't mean shit, you know. But it's like if you know your destiny is XYZ, like if you for whatever it is your purpose in life is, if you know you want to play basketball, you want to be a fireman, you want to fucking be an astronaut, you be a like a lawn care technician, I guess. I don't know what they call, if that's what they call them, but like whatever your passion is that drives you every day, like a lot of people don't want to focus on that, and they get stuck in complacency. And that's where I've been for a long time, like wallowing in mediocrity because I thought that that's all that there was. I'm starting to see now, like the world is like a fucking big onion, and it's just like, or maybe a spider web. Uh, but I'd rather think about onions than spider webs. Uh, but all these things, and then fast forward to me moving to this god awful state outside of many first time experiences in the pro wrestling thing. Let me backtrack to the job. So at this job that was by the airport, I met JBL, Braun Breaker, Road Dog, and William Regal in less than a year span. And it really blew my mind. Uh, I didn't get a chance to get a picture with Mr. Regal. I was like too busy at the time. I don't mean it like that, but I was just like, the restaurant was like just, there was no time for me to like be a fan. And that's like no one's fault. That's not on no one, but it was just it was weird because it was just like within a couple weeks, and then it made sense, like because I was like, oh, that same day Raw was in Orlando, so it was like, okay. And that was it. Still thinking about it now, it was still like one of the like craziest, like not planned days of my life that I'll remember forever. I just went to work normal, came out, do my shit, and it was like, oh shit, that's JBL, you know. Did my thing, let them eat, because that's fucking dumb as fuck to be bothering people like when they're eating or before they eat. Don't be that person, god damn it. Don't fucking, when I start, I still don't sign autographs, so y'all don't fuck with me. But don't come up to my fucking table when I'm eating and like there's a way to go about things, and a lot of people don't go about things the right way, including myself sometimes. That's something we'll get into later. Fuck, dude. This is gonna be a rough day. And not in a bad way. I just, my brain is, like, got so much going that I might be able to take a nap. Possibly, but, like, when I try to even relax, my body just, like, starts popping. And I'm, like, awake again. So I just, like, move my shit in a weird angle. And all of that I was saying earlier is gonna make sense in a minute if you were paying attention. Because when you're a long-term storyteller, you drag it out, you know. So all right. And I know we talked about this in the last video, but we'll recap it. So in the year of 2023? Had to have been. Yeah. Okay. Very short span of time. From like late 2022 to like April of 2023 was when I met all of them. Plus, there was a midget match at the chicken joint down the street, and that night I ran into Damian Priest and Dominic Mysterio, and I have pictures of both of them. So it's like, I know some dickhead's gonna try to downplay my shit because they weren't there and be like, no, you didn't, blah blah blah, whatever. But it was a crazy moment. It was weird. I was not expecting to see them there, especially in that ghetto ass fucking restaurant that I ended up working in, which was crazy. That's a whole other episode we're going to talk about too. Fuck, man, it's and it's all these life events I think are preparing me for the life that I really want, and which I'm working for day by day. It's brick by brick, whether people realize it or see it or not. I don't give a fuck about none of that. None of my concern. It's inevitable to have people like try to downplay your progress, dog, and that's gonna happen to everyone on this planet. Everyone on this planet had someone tell them like, "Hey, you suck, fuck you," and like, what you do with those words is up to you. Like, the weight of the words hold no power until you give them the power. If you like want to be hurt by those words and you whatever, then that's what the fuck you're gonna do. As I digress again, I've now been here for like a year and some change, and I was ringside at my very first Ring of Honor show. Ringside at my very first Ring of Honor show by some fucking token of luck. Because it was kind of set up like a general admission type shit. But because of when I got there, and because it was just me, they had some seats that were like over here that I guess they were waiting to get filled up or like whatever. But I just remember sitting by the table, and like, not like right by it, but like I'm close enough to where I can hear Ian Riccaboni like call the matches. And I'm like, holy fuck, dude, this isn't happening. Like, no way. Like, it was just a series of events like that that just didn't seem to, like, I couldn't believe. And working out at Aleister Black's gym one time, and the fucking crazy scenario that went along with that. Like, I was so dedicated. Y'all can look that shit up too. It's called The House, or what is it called? Oh no. It's in Plant City. You either know about it or you don't. I don't know. The Dark Arts Gym, I think is what it's called. I can't think of it off the top of my fucking head right now because there's so much shit up there right now, but I remember every fucking thing else around it. Like how, like, I was just so invested in getting my career started. So invested, and I was like enthralled and ecstatic about being in the same room with Malachi Black, Aleister Black, Tommy End, whatever you know him as. I'm in the same room as him in his gym. Like, and I got my foot in the door because I had my eye on their Instagram page when they were like early, like I watched the process of them like get the space, and like he had like this Instagram page for like, oh, it's the Dark Arts Gym, and like this is where it is, and then it was like, just, you know, however long it took, I was with them, you know, vicariously through the videos, watching, you know, that unfold. And I need a second. This fucking construction keeps throwing me off. It's like to not have a, I'll get back to what I was talking about in a second, but to not have, to not be able to sleep peacefully at your own home, like multiple, like if you get disturbed like that once or twice, you know, here and there, whatever, but like if you get disturbed by your neighbors, your fucking, the goddamn construction zone or the zoo you live in, just keep pushing, brother. Just, I feel for you. Like I am you, I guess, because I'm going through that same shit. Like we're all going through the same shit. And I started to realize as I get older, like we all are like going through shit. Like it doesn't matter. Like it doesn't need to be a competition about whose shit bag is deeper. It's just you. You could talk to a fucking 100 people, and every single one of them, I guarantee you, has had something horrendously tragic happen to them. And you could sit down and listen to all 100 of their stories, all fucking different crazy stories. And it's, okay, so where I was at with that. So ringside, Ring of Honor. I know I'm back and forth, but if y'all are paying attention, and like I said, if y'all pay attention and keep up with the story, or just if you're, I guess, you're popping in here and there and you're not understanding what the fuck I'm talking about, and you're like, oh fuck, this dude's a nut job. Fuck, dude. Then I guess then that's that too. However, we're back to this conundrum of shit sacking and heavy weight of just like like I said earlier, just one side is it's the duality, I guess. There's always that duality of everything. It's very unpleasant sometimes to deal with, but I so many things happened in my life, especially like relating to like the wrestling world type shit that I never would have even thought about happening. Like being, I had never, for a while, when I first moved here, I knew the performance center was here, duh, but I didn't know how to fucking like I didn't know where it was. I didn't know how to like get to the show. Like I knew they were doing NXT there, but I'm like, how the fuck? Like I gotta figure out how to where they do that, and then it became a process and ended up getting like a link or I fucking the internet. The fucking Instagram was probably scanning my brain and like plucked my fucking thought out of my skull and plop, put that shit right on my screen. I was like, hmm. And all this correlates together because it's like, I don't. One day I'm gonna be looking back on this like, yeah, you're right. Like you shouldn't have gave up. And then the other part of me is like, I never feel like I'm gonna make it because I'm always so close, but yet so far away. Like I said earlier, um, like with the NXT shit, man. Like it just by the grace of the universe, man. Like I don't like I was maybe I liked a video or something, and that prompted the fucking thing because it caught that my signal was like close to the geographical fucking location, whatever. So it did. Fucking technology is crazy. That's another thing we'll get into another video, like how kind of like mind blowing and boggling fucking technology is now, and like will get in the future. But and then I thought I'm ready to get my career started. I'm like being a handful of NXT shows that I never thought like didn't even ever think about being at because it wasn't a reality for me for a while. Because living in Colorado, there was no going to NXT unless NXT came to Colorado, right? And it just and then every time I go there, I'm like, I'm in the performance center, and I love being there, and I'm always blown away and captivated by the fucking that little monumental arena. Like, there's so much history and just so much that's happened in that tiny arena, and the crowd, very, very passionate crowd, which is, it had something I had on the mind too, because it's, as I'm sitting, it doesn't matter what fucking chair I'm sitting in, whether it's here, whatever the fuck, wherever I'm at. I'm, I can't focus on the matches. I'm like running spots in my head of like, oh damn, what if we got to what if we told a story to where we could make this happen and like da 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 and like I'm seeing myself like do spots that like haven't been done before, and I'm like starting to like visualize this. I mean, like as I'm sitting there, I'm like, damn, I could run the ropes. Like I could jump up there and the stuff I know I could do it very well, and the stuff that I like don't know, obviously I would have to get taught, and the stuff that I'm not very good at, which I feel like I would be very phenomenal at a lot of it. And I know like I'm not that's not trying to be like cocky or nothing, but like it's just from like it would be the same way for you if you took in Formula One racing from the day you were like 4 or 5 years old, and every single day of your life from that moment where you saw one racer like do something incredible in the Formula One, you're like, oh fuck, that's my destiny. I'm going to be a Formula One driver. And you follow that path and you go and you become the Formula One driver. Fucking construction, dog. Oh my god. I want to go somewhere quiet to like relax my mind, but it's so fucking hot outside that I don't want to be outside. And since I'm a fucking bum and I don't have a car, since I'm a bum and I need to fucking get my shit together, which is what I was saying at the beginning of the video. And it just, Rome wasn't built in a day, I know that. I just gotta, I'm building this empire. And okay, and back to that duality of like the good things happening to me with the wrestling world. Now we'll get into the bad side. Like, and I don't want to say it, like it's just a duality. It's just like the pros and cons of it. Like waiting in line. Fuck, dude, it's stressing me out thinking about it. Like, you go to this hot ass parking lot and you wait. Some people wait from fucking like 12 or 1 because they want to be front row. They want to have the same seats they had for the past 37 weeks plus and counting, and that's great and that's good for them. But like, dog, for me that doesn't work. I I love that they're that passionate. I love it. I love it. I love it because that like I'm either gonna get booed or cheered, and like if I get any reaction is better than no reaction. I know that for sure. But it's it's they can be very. I mean, all fucking wrestling fans can be like this, and I feel like a mark saying this because I'm not like I haven't really started my career yet. Even though I feel like I haven't started my in ring career. Let's say that because I've kind of like tiptoed under the umbrella of journalism. I'll never. I'm not gonna call myself a journalist, but I've tiptoed under that umbrella. Mm. And it's just something I've been thinking about it's just every day in school, like from like whatever the very first moment, whatever it was. I'll have to think about it deeper, and I'm not going into all that right now. But it was just whatever moment triggered this like path of destiny for me. Like I know I'm meant to be there. And for a while I would think like no, like I'm not good enough to be there, and like da 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 da. And maybe that's true for like Raw and SmackDown, but dog, NXT, especially after going to a lot of them and like seeing the people, like watching some of the talent grow, which is that's kind of weird too to think like being like an organic like the organic group, like watching them grow from like dark matches to like getting like longer TV time and better angles and whatever the fuck. It's like you're along with all these people for the ride,
good or bad, and it's and now I'm gonna get kind of. I've been trying to avoid this because I don't know if I'm gonna cry, and I didn't want to cry, and if I do, it's fucking whatever. But the Wyatt Six thing, we all saw what happened last week. They promised a massacre, we got it. That part was awesome. I was, my God, I was blown away. Single frame, like the single shot, like camera, like just following it through like a fuck, like it was on a roller coaster, like it was on like a track or something, you know. And oh my God, I loved every second of it. I saw the critics, I saw the bullshit, like how they killed Chad Gable, and like even Triple H made like a joke about it, like on the Pat McAfee show or whatever. But it's like you see something, you get that visual, and you out of like everybody's brain goes different directions, and that's last week. Like that was kind of what happened. Is like my brain was just like, oh fuck, dude, like they just took out like production, Gorilla, like you definitely wanted to tune in next week to be like, oh shit, like, are they gonna like open up Raw? Are they gonna like, is Chad Gable dead? Like, you know, da 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 da. There's like all these questions, and like obviously, you know, Chad Gable's good, but like, oh, we're getting we're getting to the meat of the bones, and it just fucking it haunts my soul, and I love it. I do love it, but it's just like that line of reality is like was smashed, and anything that I was like thinking about like was just obliterated in that single moment, and that's good. But it just oh I I could like I wasn't expecting him to like bring up Bray Wyatt's passing like that, like the way they did it. Like I didn't expect it, and we're getting dog. We're going back into the era that brought us all into it, man. I say back into that era. It, I feel like y'all come back in 6 months and or however long, and then say like whether this worked or not. But it, it's I just I really felt for Bo Taylor. I don't know like what to like, and that's the weird thing too about like when I get into this, like, do I use your name or your ring name? Fuck, it's another layer of shit, and I'm just oh dude, that scared the fuck out of me. I guess I have an alarm set for right now. I guess I was supposed to get up right now, but I never went to sleep. It's it was beautiful. It was haunting, but it just like I said, man, I felt for him. It, him and the character, like it was like the real life pain. I felt, I could feel that. Like I know what he's going through.
obviously it wasn't like on the same level, but it was like we've all experienced loss, and like you know, and with everything going to Netflix, dog, every everything that's been like phenomenal this year, like next year in 2025 when they really get going, like dog, the Triple H era, like the wheels are spinning. And I don't mean this with like any like ill will or any of that, because people hear those words and they put weird context on it. No, it's none of that. I need to start writing shit down, because that's what I got that fucking whiteboard for, and I don't ever use it. But we just haven't seen nothing yet. I know we haven't. And what blows my mind even more is I know one day I'm going to be a part of it. Somehow, some way. And that's where the real deep dive of the onion gets, because as fake as people try to say that it is, it's 100% not that at all. Like like fake is not it. Like, you have to really be in shape to do that shit. You have to mentally be strong as fuck to be away from people that you love for 300 days a year. Like traveling constantly and dealing with all the bullshit that goes along with that. I can imagine doing it all the time just from my handful of disasters going on planes. Doing that for a living and like doing it all the time, like you have to be a special kind of strong for that. Also, the fact that there's never an off season. Like for Michael Cole, for example, he's done 27 tours of the globe, essentially. That I'm not a critic, so like for me to say like I don't what I'm just gonna say this because I can't really formulate much else. I know I'm gonna love what they're gonna do with the Wyatt Six. It definitely took me by surprise in the direction they went and how they went there, but I love that shit, dude. Like that ear, and then just there's still, obviously so many layers to unfold, so they don't know like what to call her. Michael calls like this Carrie looking thing, like this bitch from the ring, the fucking bitch. Dog, if you're, this is, so take this into your imagination, because you may not be a wrestling fan, and your wife or boyfriend or sister or aunt or somebody was like, hey, WWE's in town, we got this show, like we got an extra ticket, let's go. Like they bring your ass. You've never been, you've never seen it. and you're in Indianapolis, Indiana, and Chad Gable gets his big win. You're like, oh wow, he little dude. He just, he's pretty strong. Like that's cool and whatever. And then the lights start going out, section by section by section, and you feel that energy, like in being in the arena. You feel it 1,000 times more than you do looking at it through a screen. But as it and like it just fades to black, and then smoke billowing out, and then you see that wicked creature, like she's crawling all nasty through the smoke, wicked. And it's like, it's terrifying, dog. The same, dog. Growing up with like the Undertaker and Kane spooky shit, and like that was wild. Like, I can't imagine being 10, 12 years old, and because even back then when the Wyatt family debuted, like 2013 or whatever it was, it just was ominous, man. And it was like instantly drawn to him. And maybe one day I'll be able to tell a piece of my story and make it intertwine in the Firefly Funhouse somehow, or in fucking Uncle Howdy's shadows, or whatever the fuck happens with that, dude. Like, I keep telling myself I'm ready for the change, but like until I'm like really mentally ready on every fucking plane, which is a lot more of them than I anticipated. Then that door will open for me, and then we will take over. Oh man, if I could even be like an extra in a segment of one of their things one day, I would be blown away. Fuck. I kind of want to go to sleep after all of that, but I know I'm not going to be able to, or if so, not very well. Fall asleep and then like do that thing where your body like jerks out, fucking shake, or like you fall in a dream or some fucking stupid shit like that. And then you're awake again. You're like, fuck. It's not because of none of that. It's because of the fucking sound. Damn. I know we're like talking about all like the wrestling stuff and stuff, but it all intertwines. Like it all blends to make like real life. Like it all feels real, man. Like all this shit with like Uncle Howdy and everything. It's like I love it, man. I love it so much. Bray is gonna be so
proud of his brother. And that feeling of like, you know, wanting to work on your life's work with your brother, and you finally get to that point and then it's taken away from you. I definitely, I'm like, definitely, I can't relate, but I can feel it, dude. I feel the pain, man. I feel it. I don't know if everyone's like that, man. I don't know if everyone can feel the, like, realistically, like, feel that energy when like people are going through it, or like, it's just like we were saying earlier, man. We all go through shit, man. We're all going through something stupid, man, and we're just in fucking different boxes, different four walled fucking boxes, little slave storage shipment rooms. It's really, I mean, like vending machine, maybe not a vending machine, but like a store shelf, I guess. Cause like there's so much shit just like piled up. Fuck, man. I never. I didn't. I still don't know how to process Wyatt being gone. And for a lot of people on this earth, like, he was just someone on their TV screens. But for me, he was definitely a catalyst in the person that I've became. Just, you know, his early promos and just hearing, I even then I didn't realize that that's what it was, but like when I could, that was how I connected. Like I connected with him. I could feel it, like his pain, and I could relate to that. You know, like we all can, but it's just like you get behind a character when they're just like you in every single way. Like getting bullied at school and not really, you know, I don't know if he really got bullied in school, but like he was, you know, a hefty kid. So he may have, probably did, but you know, I did. I know I did. And then somebody in WWE is going to win an Emmy one day or a Grammy, whatever the fuck the like production awards are. I don't keep up with all that shit, but dog, the way they're able to fucking pull my heart out of my chest with like a piece of fucking string. It's great television, but just it was weird for me really when Ray passed, because first off, I didn't really have anybody to talk to about like how I felt about it, because nobody I know really gives a fuck about wrestling like that, or B, that they like really knew, like there was just no relatability to, you know, to like me being able to talk about that and with somebody. And I don't know if that like made things worse for me or better, but it just like it just kind of like did what the whole world did at the time, just kind of like, you know, didn't really believe it at first, and like just kind of I just, it seems like that I had that, didn't really have that outlet to be like honest with you. Like anytime I had that feeling or like wanted to talk to somebody about like that, any of that, like death, like one of my favorite people on the planet died, and then I had no one to talk to about it. And like anyway, like I just didn't. And how do you say that? And someone that doesn't understand will say something stupid, and to make the emotions worse, like, oh, who cares? You didn't even know that person, type shit. And it's like, didn't have to. I felt like I was like connected through him, like with the fireflies and just him being different and shit. And it's sad to see like Bo in that state, you know, like, or Taylor or whatever, but I know he, like, he wouldn't be doing that if he didn't want to. Like, that, what they're doing is supposed to be dark and supposed to be like that. So I'm so behind him doing everything that he needs, like, that he wants to do, like, under, you know, Bray's initial vision. I support it 1,000%, man. And like I said earlier, I hope I'm to be a part of it too, but cross that bridge when we get there. Because the crazy thing too about WWE is the fucking, like, it's literally the never ending live TV storybook. And I'll just throw one angle down on the table, and the rest you can, you know, do yourself. But the bloodline, the hottest fucking angle in TV, is going to be going for generations. Because, yeah, Jacob Fatu. Did I say Jacob? Is that his name? Damn, I am so tired. I think what I might do is take a nap shortly. Try to. I know I said that earlier, but we'll see what happens. his brother is coming in. I think that's like Haku's son. I'm not getting into the whole bloodline Samoan Tongan dynasty shit. That's that, and that was. And we'll go back to like the fucking 70s and 80s, like High Chief Peter Maivia, and then Rocky Johnson, and The Rock, and then, you know, his daughter now is in NXT. She's the general manager of NXT. And then in a few years, give or take, like, depending on how her life progresses, we're gonna get the her son or daughter is gonna be like coming through the performance center, and Jacob Fatu, that crazy motherfucker. That's one big bastard that I do not want to be on the other side of. But hey, if it comes down to it, we have to fucking squabble up. Fucking throw me in the blender. Can't make anything peaceful in Florida. I keep trying to. I digress. Yeah. It's this. If they really wanted to, and depending on who they put in charge, like what happens to WWE after like Nick Khan and Triple H and all of them like pass away. So like we're talking like 50 years from now, you know. They're gonna be talking about the shit that's happening right now then, but it's gonna be there. God damn, dude. They could literally run the bloodline angle until WWE is not a fucking thing anymore. If they really wanted to, they could fucking run this angle for the next 35, 45, 55 years. Because that fucking Samoan dynasty is exactly that. It's a fucking dynasty. And Jacob Fatu got 7 kids, boy. 7. Sesame Street ass looking ass. 7 kids at 32 years old. He got 7 kids. And I'm putting emphasis on that because those 7 kids alone could write another generational fucking layer of the bloodline story. It's crazy to me. That blows my fucking mind. That it really is a family thing. Like it's a family business. Like they feel, and that's something too that I've never. Damn, we deep diving into this fucking shit like it's a fucking interview. What the fuck? This is not what I was fucking signing up for, man. Fuck. Muscle in my leg's about to pop any second. Not as loud as it was, but oh my god. I don't really think I have anything else to say right now. I mean, I do, but I don't. That's so fucking weird. Put these motherfuckers back on. I don't know. This may not happen to normal people, but you get so tired. Your eyes start to hurt. And like the light is
It's no brighter than it normally ever is, but it just has a heavier presence on your fucking eyeballs. It feels heavy. And it doesn't. I want to move to fucking Vermont or Maryland or something, dude. Like, move the fuck away from all this bullshit. Move into like the pine, like the trees or whatever. Move into the trees, the forest. Not Baltimore though. Baltimore's ghetto. I don't want to live there. Come to think of it, a lot of places I've lived in my life are fucking ghetto, and I don't want to live there in them anymore either. Like Colfax, baby, on the edge of damn, what's that town called? Aurora? Is that how you say it? Aurora? In Denver. The like butt cheeks. The butt cheeks of Denver that like clips over the down the road. At one point in time, I lived like 2 miles, maybe 3, like 3 miles at most, away from the movie theater that got blasted up at the Batman thing. It's very strange to like really break down every piece of the puzzle to realize like my life has kind of been, and not just mine, I'm not saying it as like a poor me thing, but like from my experience on this fucking planet, it's been tragedy. Like tragedy after tragedy after tragedy. Like if you, however old you are, think about X amount of years ago and think about all the shit that's happened in X amount of years ago. Even like from my side of the table, all these fucking shootings and bombings, and then the 9/11 thing, and then all the fucking race war, and then the fucking gender thing, and like, I'm so sick of living through major historical events. Like, I was alive when Bin Laden got like snatched and killed, or fucking whatever the fuck happened to him. And that was like a really big moment. Why do I talk with my hands? I ask myself that too. Anybody that's asking, I don't fucking know, dude. Greater power commands me to do so. That's weird that you said that. I can't even drown this out with music because then I'll be like being the piece of shit neighbor that I hate being around, like being like playing loud ghetto ass music. Not all my music's ghetto, I just like the word. Damn it, dude. Go to one of those like pressure release chambers and like just decompose. I know I said earlier at some point in time in this video, I said that I wanted to talk about the bounties. Or like the new DLC for GTA. I didn't do that. I went off on a fucking tangent about some bullshit like I always do. However, if you haven't bought the DLC yet, or I say bought the DLC, like if you haven't purchased the property yet, I recommend getting one in the city. They're a little pricier, but
from my experience of having to go to the city and back to Paleto a couple times, made me realize I should have got the one in the city. Furthermore, there was what, 7 new cars. We got this is something I've been wanting for a long time too, is that Yosemite truck. They call it the Yosemite. It's the Silverado. It's like the '98 Silverado. It's like the perfect frame. It's like if I were to go buy an old pickup truck, it would be that. It'd be like a '98, '99 boxy ass Silverado. But anyway, they're really going for this whole like electric car gimmick. There's a couple. The car you get with the GTA Plus, if you're a member for that, the overflawed fucking don't remember what the fuck they called it. Some goofy ass fucking name. Zenosporo. No, it's not even that. I'm thinking of Zentoro. No, I don't even know what the fuck that's called either. This downward spiral is hopefully, I say hopefully, like it has to be like this. All spirals like eventually come to an end. Yeah, like you start at the top like a little slinky, and point to point, eventually all the momentum runs down, and all the energy folds around, and then it's gone. Now we're having this duality, this weighted argument back and forth of what is worth what. The sound, like, do I try to fall asleep to this shit, the fucking construction ass shit, or do I like put on something else, like some music, fall asleep to, and then I know as soon as I do that, it's gonna like the shuffle's gonna be on some bullshit. It's gonna play something like soft and melodic and peaceful, and then it's gonna like spring into like some cattle decapitation or some shit, and then my fucking sensors are gonna jones out, and I'm gonna wake up again. It's like there has to be an end to the spiral of misery, and once you get to the end of the downward spiral, you start at the top again. Yeah, so I don't know, getting to the top is there's different levels for different members, I guess you could say. A fucking big Jew ass nose is like breathing in the air funny, and it's pissing me off because I hear that little sound, the little nasally, whiny little like whistle fucking sound, or whatever the fuck it is that's going on up there. And it's like not that one, but like the low, normal, standard breathing. I can hear that fucking thing. Alright, that is gonna work. My hands always gotta be doing something, man. I think because my fucking That's probably because that shit's all damaged and shit too. I'd like to find out if there's a way to like get. There probably is. I'm just too lazy to research it. But I need more strength in my left hand. And no, that ain't on no fucking jacking off shit. It's just like really like I can't grip as strongly with my left hand as my right. And my right arm is fucked up too from the fucking police interaction and being a human shitbox. It's fucking jumping off of shit. That young Jeff Hardy mentality catching up to you in your early 30s. It's like, oh shit, I ain't even been in the ring yet and I feel like I've been hit by a bus. Not particularly in this moment right now, but like a lot of times in my life I just feel like I've been smashed by a fucking bus. Like, damn. And then when that happens, it's like, fuck, what's, like, we're already down here, what's the point? Like, just stay down there. Get crushed and die. And then that little sprout of flower of positivity will, like, branch through that and be, like, a tiny little light at the end of the tunnel. I know I was starting to say something about this earlier. My fucking brain. When I get in one of those like pressurized chambers that just like de-stresses your entire body. Probably end up breaking this thing being fucking goofy with it. Just like practicing my squeeze. Yeah, I can definitely tell a difference. It's so weird. I wonder what it's like to be normal. In the sense of like all your normal up here that don't exist. But on the realm of like feeling good when you wake up, like all your shit feels like it's in the right spot. Mine never does. I always feel like I'm out of alignment, and I don't even know if that's a real thing. But like I don't, my skeleton just doesn't feel like it's positioned in my flesh sac properly, and I don't know if that makes sense. And if it doesn't, I don't know how to explain it to make it make sense. But that's the fuck what I'm feeling sometimes. And as the day goes longer and I keep laying here and getting more tired, I'm like also getting a little upset with myself that I'm not doing anything. But then here it is again, that duality. Like, me, I'm not doing anything physically, really. But I'm doing this video and I'm laying here and I'm like mentally like putting myself there. So I don't know, take that for what that's worth, I guess. I just want to like, my body wants to like work out and like fuck that damn R. Kelly song. Mama said to me, no, but my body to be yes. I know that sounded horrible, but y'all know what I'm talking about. It's just get your shit in sync. And I'm talking to myself too, because I'm out of sync. If you're out of sync with yourself, dude, life is gonna be a fucking conundrum. It all starts with you, bud. I know. And I'm like the biggest pile of shit on the planet Earth, I feel like sometimes, just because of the situation I'm in and like kind of so much how I react to the situation I'm in sometimes. It's not good, but like I'm also like socially retarded, so when it comes to like emotional attachments to human beings, like all that connecting and shit, it's like it's weird. It doesn't feel right always. Damn. Just the side of my dome piece. I think I said this earlier too, but it goes back to the construction. Um, there is a tiny piece of silver lining that makes it tolerable for the time that it is. The old fucking bitch across the way that we've been having problems with ever since the first day we moved in, like more than one time, an issue with this fucking old ass bitch. She has to be over there right now. I think I did say that earlier. I'm like thinking about it again, so that's kind of stupid on my part to like live in the past that deep like that. But it's I don't know, some form of street justice, I guess you could say. Like, yeah, y'all can hear it, like, but that shit's literally right over that old ass bitch's head. Bang, bang, bang. Like, fuck, dude. I think I'm retarded enough to like be a sound effects board, like a cartoon or something. All I know is my eyeballs hurt. I'm hungry. That seems to, that part seems to always be a constant factor. Like I'm always hungry. I don't know if that's because I don't eat as much as I'm supposed to, and I don't know. I don't want to break down a bunch of I don't knows right now. I really don't, because it could be that. It could be the fact, but it's like with me, food is weird because sometimes I don't even think about it at all ever. Like I can go a full day at least for sure. You know, as long as I have something to drink or like maybe a snack or something. Even sometimes without like a snack, I can just or whatever. Especially if I'm focused, like or if I'm like deep diving in a game. I'm gonna play like a handful of hours at a time, and then I just it slips my mind because then after I do that handful of hours, I do fucking handful of hours of something else. Oh, that was the pop we were waiting on. Oh. I feel tension in my forehead. I guess I'm a lot more stressed out than I thought I actually was. Because on the grand scheme of things, like in the bigger picture of life, like all these, well, and that's the thing. It's like it's a lot of little things adding up to make a lot, to make shit bigger than it should be.
dig my pineal gland open. So after all these years of like calcifying it with fluoridic toothpaste, which switched to non-fluoride a couple years ago, but doesn't really help when you neglect them most of the time anyway. I felt like a bubble popped in my fucking face. That's weird. Is that like stress? Like stress ball or something? It's like the brightness is just killing the vibe right now. I hate this fucking bed. I know I'm just bitching a lot, like, in this video. And unfortunately, that's just the way it goes sometimes. It has to go out somewhere, or it gets trapped inside, and that doesn't end good for anybody. Just stick to the mantra of, like, heavy, deep breathing. Maybe not so much heavy, just deep breathing. And massaging my skull here. Oh, I don't even want to open my eyes, because I know it's gonna not feel very pleasant. You hear that fucking stupid ass whistling sound I was talking about earlier? I fucking hate that shit. Sometimes it makes me want to just like bash myself in the fucking nose. Like, oh, you want to squeak? Bop, 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 bop. Like 5 or 6 times. Like, just right in the fucking big Jew nose. Boom, 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 boom. Obviously, I haven't done that yet, but them intrusive thoughts, man, there's something else. They be intruding at the wrong times, and they be the wrong shit too. Peeping up through the seams. I could be a comedian, a very low rate, kind of scuzzy comedian, but I definitely could do it. It's definitely on the list of things I'm going to do before my time is up on this planet. Maybe it's just like a one-time thing with the homies, and so be it, but it's on the list.
Not happening.
I think we're done here for now.